Right, on to our other big story now. A Stellenbosch University student is set to open a criminal case after a white student urinated on his belongings. The incident, which occurred over the weekend, sparked outrage on social media. In a video that's making the rounds, a fellow white pupil is seen peeing on Babalo Ndawana's belongings. The university has since suspended the perpetrator. Now let's speak to Ndawana's father, Mkhuseli Daguta. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on all angles. Firstly, tell me how you felt when you heard about this incident and you saw how, your son's ordeal was becoming more and more famous on social media.
The initial reaction that I had was utter disgust and secondly, powerlessness. If you're not aware, I'm in the Eastern Cape and my son is in the Western Cape, and once such things happen, you would want to be by your child's side immediately. And yeah, that's the feeling, the initial reaction that I had. And I appreciate all the attention that this incident has garnered. Hopefully we will shed light and poke the institution to deal with these incidents decisively from now moving forward, and we do not have a repeat of such things now.
Mr. Daguta, there were reports that you were not, for the idea of Ubabalo opening a case against the perpetrator. He's going there this afternoon to open a criminal case. Are you supporting him in doing that?
Actually, I am the one who pushed for that because, had the perpetrator and the family shown that they are remorseful and what, they would have long by now reached out to us as Babalo's family, and yet nothing to that end has happened. So I have been pushing for that to happen. Perhaps they will know now that they will understand the gravity of the situation, how heavy it is, yes.
And in terms of speaking to your son, how is he sounding to you? Has he told you of other incidents, or was this the first and a surprise to him?
To him personally, it is the first, but there are subtle things that have happened, and we just overlook them, and then perhaps think that no, it's just something that's normal. But to him personally, but I've heard people coming forward that there has been several incidents this year of such behavior, but unfortunately there has not been compelling evidence towards that. But with this case now, it is different because he was lucky enough to capture this on video. So they're just no getting away from this.
What charges exactly would you like police to investigate? Of course, Babalo says that this other teenager came into his room uninvited, so obviously that's a crime on its own. But would you like the racially motivated part of it to also be brought up?
That is the gist of all this. That is the gist of all this. His dignity has been trampled on. My son is overwhelmed by all of this situation, so there is that malicious damage to property, and again, this dignity has been trampled on. His rights
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me, Mr. Taguta, about the kind of conversations you're having with Ubabalo. I mean, at the end of the day, as a parent, you send your child to university because you want them to come back home and, make something better of themselves in society and in the world. So right now, as you say that he is overwhelmed, it's probably also a distraction, right, in terms of his studies. So as a father, what type of conversations are you having with him?
Telling him to be strong, obviously, and I know he is of a strong character as well. So he stands for what he believes in. I'll support him with whatever he needs and hang in there. We knows he's got most of South Africa behind him, and we are all appreciative of that.
Mr. Taguta, I heard you saying that you're the one who pushed Babalo to go open this case today, and that's something that obviously is commendable. But I want you to talk to me about, how we grow up as black people in terms of being taught to simply just forgive and move on. Yesterday when Babalo spoke to some media, he was saying he will forgive him. But clearly you're saying no. He must answer to what he did. Talk to me about how, as parents, we teach our children, as black parents, we teach our children to forgive, even when, as you say, our dignity is being trampled on.
Yes, you teach them to forgive, obviously, but at the same time, at the same breath, you also teach people that for every action there are consequences. So this situation warrants such consequences.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly, Mr. Taguta, would you like to see the university do? It's not the first time that it's in the spotlight for such alleged racially motivated acts. What would you like to see the university do? And would you like also government, maybe the Minister of Higher Education's office, to also step in?
Most definitely. They cannot handle the situation. It is obvious and apparent that they cannot handle the situation on their own. So they need to involve all the relevant stakeholders. And, once you talk about racism, from the perpetrator and the one who is a victim, they see it differently. They need to put more time to listening to the victims and understanding and show compassion to what the victims are feeling.
But also I want to go back to the whole forgiveness part. I think for me what was disappointing, and I don't know if you share the same sentiment, is that, there's something that Nelson Mandela used to say, and I know it's corny to be quoting the first president of democratic South Africa, but he said that a child is not born hating somebody. They are taught to. So if this young man, as young as him, is doing this to another student because of his color, allegedly, what is his parents teaching him in 2022?
That is my issue as well with this. Say the roles were reversed. I would have long ago reached out to his family, but the Dutoits have kept mum. They've kept to themselves, meaning that they condone such behavior. Some things, we can sort them out as adults. You expect that adults act as adults. If you say that was an immature and childish behavior, then what do you do as a parent? You don't keep mum.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and all the best in terms of your son being able to concentrate again after this. I can imagine, as you said, how overwhelming this has been for him. Thank you, though, for giving us your time here on All Angles. That is Kuseli Daguta. He is the father of that Stellenbosch University student, Babalo Ndayana, who, his belongings were urinated on by a white pupil, and people around the country are up in arms believing this was racially motivated. And as you heard there, it's something that is quite disappointing in terms of what the Detroit boy's family, the alleged perpetrator, is teaching him in this day and age, to a point where he thinks he can just urinate on someone's belongings, allegedly because they are black.